For me, with that,
do you believe in unconditional love? And if not, what are the conditions to your love?
Okay. I aim to have unconditional love. Now, was I raised to believe that I was loved conditionally? Yes, I'll say that. But like for me, it's all about, like you said, learning how to love and seeing things differently. And when you learn to love someone unconditionally, you let them be whoever they want to be. Like T-Dot is not the idea of what I want her to be, and I love her anyway. Regignald is not the idea of who I want him to be, but I love him. My mother is not the idea of who I want her to be, and I love her just the same. You know what I'm saying? Like no matter whatever she does, there's just this undeniable love that you have for your parents. I promise your parents could do some fucked up shit to you, but no matter, it's just like something in you. It's just, and innately you're just gonna love them. You know what I mean?
Whether it's trying to have every girl in the world, you know what I'm saying? Whether we are trying to get every guy, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's trying to be there for everybody, whether it's being known for having like the dopest clothes, the dopest cars, the biggest house, you know what I'm saying? But it all feels, if it's just about attention, it's only gonna feel the ego. What have you learned about other people in life? I'll even just take out the other. I'm gonna just say what I learned about people. I learned that people are merely human, right? And being human means a whole lot of things. It comes with a whole lot of experiences, emotions, and just roles that we have played to try to be heard and loved. And some of us have gone through so much bullshit that we have created these protective masks that sometimes come off very, very evil, mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, depending on who you're around, you feel me? So, like, if I know that I'm working with, some personalities that I feel like are gonna try me, I'm going to develop this persona, I'm gonna use a part of me, everything, it's like, it's still you, it's just everything a part of you, you're using that to defend yourself. It's survival mode, if you will. Is it right? It's not about right and wrong right now, man. It's really just about survival. I mean, if I'm walking into a pack of wolves, is it right that I try to kill every last one of them if it means my life or theirs? It's perspective, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta protect yourself. It's survival mode. Oh, it wasn't right to shoot that man, that was coming at me with the gun. Well, it's either me or him, damn it. You know what I mean? With people, I've recognized that we all have similar stories, similar upbringings. Despite not being, you might not have known a person, but for how long, you know what I'm saying? But once you get to talking and you get to see how your parenting style was, and you recognize like how familiar it sounds, you know what I mean? Like, I literally was at work yesterday, right? And me and one of the students that came to our class were sitting there rapping. She's telling me about her upbringing, about like, as far as having parents that had the conditional love, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll help you out with your, you know what I'm saying, blase, as long as you do this, you know what I'm saying? It's like you weighing this shit over me, you know what I mean? And And some people do that, that's what they're taught. Like, oh, well, I'm not gonna help you with your stuff unless you do, bam, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like conditional love, yeah, it's conditional love. But, like all in all, it's just like, I never met that person a day in my life. Yet we were sharing like, stories that matched up. Yeah, it didn't hurt that we came from, the same community. But it's just wild that you know what I'm saying? Like, again, you just see how alike that we can be. You know what I'm saying? How human that we can be. And truthfully, our parents, her parents, my parents, another person's parents that may come from the same community, done the same type of shit. They did the best they could. That's all they knew. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a factory. Like everybody doing the same shit. Like, oh, well, they treat their kids that way. They turned out all right. I'm gonna treat mine like that. You know what I'm saying? Instead of seeing like, you know what? Okay, that worked to that point. What if I add this to it? It's like learn how to cook. Okay, they give you a box. They tell you your directions. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is how you make cheeseburger macaroni. And then, like I told y'all last week, what if I add a little bacon on that thing? What if I put some Kanye pepper, some cayenne, but some Kanye pepper? Let's say I do something like that. Like you're adding ingredients to make the meal improve. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's what we can do as humans. You know what I'm saying? Especially with our parenting. Because our parenting, we become the voice in our children's heads. So let's be mindful what the fuck we're saying to our kids when they're like little. You know what I mean? Like if you doing that same hurtful rhetoric that your parents did to you, you knew that shit harmed you. Why the fuck would you do that to somebody that you love, such as your baby? You know what I'm saying? You want the best for your kid. Don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying? We can be stern and assertive, but as far as tearing a child down to control them, that's very, very slave-like. You know what I'm saying? That's like very much plantation mindset type shit. Like, okay, I've got to break you down so that I can control you. Think about how all the slaves were controlled for all those many years. Take over their fucking mindset, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, what I've learned about people is that we're all just the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, some of us are at different levels, but we're not better than, we just have an access to a certain type of knowledge. You know what I mean? Like, don't ever let anyone like try to shit on you because you don't know what they know. Because I'm pretty sure you know something they don't either. You feel me? So it's like, we're pretty much all human. Some of us grew up this way, so we got this knowledge this way. You might know how to fight because that was your survival mode. You had to learn how to fight. You might know how to make $1 million because you were around people that knew how to make money. You might know how to do hair because that's, you're around people that had that access to knowledge. But for me to come off on you because you don't know anything about you know what I'm saying, black movies, or you don't know anything about this video game, or you know what I'm saying, it's like what your focus is. If that wasn't a value to you growing up, you're not going to, you know what I'm saying, care about it as an adult, you know what I'm saying? But when you start like learning like, oh, you know what I'm saying, I want to take on something new, then, okay, now I want to get the education on that shit. For instance, I didn't like to read when I was a kid. Reading assignments, I struggle with reading comprehension. I think a lot because of that. I think it has a lot to do with perfectionism and not wanting to make mistakes and shit like that. But now I love to read. That's just a thing for me. And for people that know how, like that really do read books, I like to engage with them to learn, like, how do you go about, you know what I'm saying? Which way do you read books? What books do you like to read? You know what I'm saying? Is it fiction? Is it nonfiction? All these things, you know what I'm saying? I'm just learning different tactics from these individuals. Now, I could be like, they could come at me like, you've never read? I'm like, no, I never did, because I didn't value that shit before, you know what I'm saying? It's all about the value. And if you don't care, it don't bother you. There's people that lose their mind trying to get to a country concert, and I can give a fuck less, you know what I'm saying? Because I didn't value that shit. I don't value that shit. There's people that can want to get to this crazy rap. Oh my God, I just gotta be there. And I'm sitting there, I don't give a damn. A video game that comes out, Call of Duty, whatever it is, I don't value it, you know what I mean? But that's people. Learning how human we are. That's what I've learned a lot about just people. People are people. They're going to be people. They're going to say hurtful things. That's pain. Ingested inside them, and you get filled up so much with pain that it has to go somewhere. So you project it out. It's a way of venting. You know what I mean? And sometimes, again, they say hurt people. Hurt people. So but it has nothing to do with me. But if I'm also hurt myself, then I'm going to take on that virus and I'm gonna pass it to somebody else. And that person's gonna pass it to somebody else. And before you know it, you got a nation, you got America for that matter, a nation of people that just say fucked up shit to one another. You know what I'm saying? Like, because of pain. And it's like wanting to be free from that shit. Like, I'm tired of that shit, man. I really am. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to tear anybody down. Maliciously. Now, if we joking and kikiing and shit like that, it's a whole other thing or whatnot, you know what I mean? But never nothing to be malicious to where I want to make myself feel better to tear you down. No, that's not really my game. That's not what we do. I think that's very weak of a person to do, is to tear one down in order to make themselves feel better. That's like one of the most to me, and what I live by. That's one of the weakest things you could do. So anybody in that pain, I wish them positive and healing energy, as I say all the time, which I really stole from Charlemagne the God. It's like, I don't want to argue with nobody. I don't want to, start shit with no one. Just wish them positive and healing energy and move the fuck on. You know what I'm saying? To say, like, the criticism, you smile and move forward. That's it. So when people criticize you, you just smile at it and move forward. Again, anger is a choice response. So if I choose to respond in anger, that's on me, and that's the wounded inner child. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you can't control. You don't feel like you don't have as much control as you wish you could at the time. You know what I'm saying? But people like to people just want to be seen. People want to be heard. People want to be loved. And we do it all in different forms. Some of us like to wear flashy ass clothes. Some of us like to, collect a whole lot of music and display that shit. Some of us like to be on social media and, just broadcast everything. You know what I'm saying? Some of us like to be on YouTube and broadcast everything. Some of us like to, do for others. Some of us like to do for self. Some of us we do so many things, but it's all to be heard and loved. And the beauty of it is, like, when we learn how to love ourselves, we don't have to seek anything outward. All the love that we ever needed was already inside of us. Like, someone taught us that we had to seek love outward when we already came in the world with the love that we needed. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything else is just a compliment to your life. You know what I'm saying? That's it. It should be a compliment to your life, rather. But that's not always how people move. And we feel like I gotta get this man, or I gotta get this woman, and then my life will be complete. No person is going to complete you. It's not. They can compliment your life, but I don't believe that, the person completing me. You compliment my life, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're whole, I'm whole, and we're just gonna compliment each other's life, however it's going to be. You don't put somebody else's happiness in your hands. That's unfair, honestly, because you have no control over that person's brain, where that person is going, and that's just how I see things. So don't ever put your happiness in my hands. It's unfair. It's unfair to do to anyone, to place your happiness, have somebody responsible for your happiness. You are responsible for your own happiness. Everything else must complement your life, man. And you have it within you. I don't care who you are. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck how much low self-esteem you feel like you got right now. The only person that is responsible for that self-esteem is you. It's esteem of self. You know what I mean? So it's like learning to switch your perspective. You're looking at it from a negative perspective. Therefore, yes, you're going to have a low self-esteem. But if you change your mindset, if you change the way you see things, then you'll have a positive, self-esteem, a higher self-esteem than what you had before. Don't worry about what other people say. You know what I'm saying? Like, what a person's opinion of you is none of your business. It has nothing to do with you. That's everything to do with how they see life. You know what I mean? So if you got a person and you got people in your life that want to tear you down, you know what I'm saying? They like to criticize you and all that shit, man. Ask yourself why you even want to be around that shit. You know what I mean? Like a person that literally, like, I ain't talking about like constructive criticism. What we're talking about is people that are literally just set out. They get joy off of just tearing you the fuck down. And this is supposed to be your people. This is somebody you love. Would you want to see your child being treated like that? Would you want somebody doing that to you? That's the question you gotta ask. You know what I mean? Like that changes the game when we see it done to somebody that we love. So like, would you want? So just look at yourself, right? Man, we all got to do it. I mean, I know I had to learn. This is why I had to learn about people. Another thing I had to learn about people, I had to look at myself as if I was somebody I was taking care of versus just me just on autopilot. You know what I'm saying? Playing this first person video game and going through life. But now I am looking at myself from a third person. You know what I'm saying? And like, why would I want somebody talking to John or talking to Romy like that? You know what I mean? Talking to Mac like that. Am I gonna allow them to treat Mac that way? Am I gonna let them treat, you know what I'm saying, John that way? Am I gonna let them treat Romy that way? Yep, gave away all my fucking government name, all that shit right now on this show. But it's like, am I going to allow someone to treat me that way? And do I wanna be around that shit? And if I don't, then why the fuck am I still there? See, you gotta leave when respect is no longer served. However you feel about that, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have no attachment to anybody. When it comes to that shit, it's about respect. You know what I'm saying? People are only gonna do what you allow them to do. And you gotta love yourself, yo. Truthfully, it's hard. It's hard trying to learn how to put yourself first when you've been conditioned and trained to put everybody else first. You know what I mean? But like, learning to do so, you see shit differently. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see how many people were benefiting off of, you know what I'm saying, manipulating you. And when you remove that access to you and you watch how they respond, you know what I'm saying? It's eye-opening to where it comes from, whether it be friends, family, coworkers, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just enlightening to see. But when you see that, when you learn that you'll be fine. No matter what, you'll be fine. Life will go on. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. There's going to be some, like, if you lose people in your life, there's going to be a time where you feel like a sense of mourning or grief, you know what I'm saying? And shit like that. But you will go on. You've moved on. I think about people we've lost in our lives, you know what I'm saying? Whether we've lost cousins, fathers, mothers, aunts, daughters, whatever, you know what I'm saying? We've lost people in our life and life still moved on. You have to move on because time, that's the only way. The only way to do that is to evolve. And that's what I've learned about people, by being around people, talking to people, seeing how they move, you know what I'm saying, learning from them, seeing how, you know, they'll do things out of pain, do things out of this way, that way, you know what I mean? And one thing that can be learned from all of it is that, yeah, we just all really want to be seen. We all want to be heard. We all want to be loved. And we'll find ways to protect ourselves, to prevent ourselves from being hurt. Now, some people have learned the hard way and they come off a little bit more aggressive than others. And some people have graduated and they've learned that nothing anyone does is ever about them. So they don't live in fear, they live in love. And I think that's like the aim. At least for myself, I want to live like in love, not so much live in fear of something, you know? So like every day I try to catch myself and say, am I doing this out of fear? Am I doing this out of love? You know what I mean? Like, am I giving unconditionally or am I giving because I don't want to be left out? I don't want to be abandoned and whatnot, you know what I mean? But all in all, those are some things I've learned about people, if you will, just to answer the question. So, be kind. You never know what anybody else is going through. What do you believe people want the most in life? I think that varies. I think there's many things that people want in life. I'll say most what people want. I guess I'll go with what I want. I want peace. Like, ultimately, man. Like, I'm at an age where I just want peace, man. Peace in my life, really. I want to engage with people that are peaceful. I like to remove those that aren't. Avoid the unhappy and the unlucky like nobody's business, yo. Like we are too old to be treating each other like we don't care for one another. You know what I'm saying? Like talking to each other like with they're saying the most vile shit to one another. Like what do you get out of that? Why would you want to stay in a relationship, communication, you know what I'm saying, when you're talking to somebody like this, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just weird being out of the matrix, you know what I'm saying? Because I used to engage with shit like that a lot, and it's really all I knew, you know what I mean? But to look at life and be like, you know what, if it's not going to be peaceful, then I'm going to have to have peace alone. You know what I'm saying? Like by myself. And I got no problem with that. Just give me the beach, you know what I'm saying, the books, had a pair of headphones, and I'm good, you know what I mean? But, you know, what people want out of life, I think that they just want to be, you know, like I said, I guess it's like intertwining with the recent, you know, topic is heard and loved, you know what I'm saying? We want love, you know what I mean? But we want love. We're conditioned to get love in various ways. Like I think some of us are, we have a miscommunication what it means, what love is, you know what I'm saying? Like some of us equate attention with love. So like we'll do certain things to get love, attention, you know what I'm saying? Whatever that is, whether it's trying to have every girl in the world, you know what I'm saying? Whether we are trying to get every guy, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's trying to be there for everybody, whether it's, you know, being known for having like the dopest clothes, the dopest cars, the biggest house, you know what I'm saying? But it all feels, you know, if it's just about attention, then it's only gonna fill the ego. And the ego is a bottomless pit, you know what I'm saying? It's never enough. It's never enough for your ego, you know what I'm saying? That's why we constantly always, you know what I'm saying? Like for those of us that like to go out and just buy new shit, like all the time, just to have new shit. I mean, don't get me wrong, it feels good, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying, by all means, I'm not saying I'm sitting here with a Betamax machine or a fucking VCR or anything like that. What I'm saying is like, just how our minds operate. We like to have new shit. It feels good, you know what I mean? But there's some people that get caught up in just always the new, you know what I mean? But I mean, you want to evolve, but like material things, you know what I'm saying? Like the whole aspect of this, I want to get this something new. You know what I'm saying? I got to get the new Jordans. I got to get the new iPhone. Damn, iPhone just came out 6 months ago. I got to buy a new fucking phone. You know what I'm saying? Phone works perfectly fine. No scratches. Ain't even dropped the bitch. I got to get the new iPhone. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is like we equate, again, that attention. We want to be at like, oh, I got the new iPhone or I got the new whatever. You know what I'm saying? I was the first one to do whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Equating attention to love. And I just feel like it's very short-lived. It's like fast food. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that actual love that you get, that unconditional love, right? When a person sees you, like for you, and they don't tear you down, they don't try to change you or anything like that. They just see you like for you. They love you exactly where where you're at in life. But at the same time, that unconditional love does not mean unconditional tolerance. You know what I'm saying? I can love you from over here. You know what I'm saying? I can love you from over there. But if it hinders with my mental health of any sort, bye. You have to go. You have to be removed. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that type of love, you know what I'm saying, that you get when you just see a person, like I said, you see a person where they are, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like with some of the fellas, like a lot of us are different, you know what I'm saying? Some of us are into like anime, some of us are into mental health, some of us are into sports, some of us are into movies a lot, but you know, we don't have to spring that shit on each other, you know what I'm saying? Like we can be our own person, you know what I'm saying? Like whatever, we don't have to drink the same thing. We don't have to eat the same shit. We don't have to have the same beliefs. We can, like, even political beliefs, you know what I'm saying? Like you can literally be a Trump supporter. And I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why you could be. There's many reasons why you could be a Trump supporter. And that's okay. That's on you. If you never, I'm going to hold you to it, the fact that if you've never treated me a certain way, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to love you where you are. You know what I mean? Of course, I can have my own opinions on the shit, but that's just my opinion. Period. You know what I'm saying? As long as you've never disrespected me, I ain't got no issues with you. You can believe in whatever you want to believe in. If you like to watch nothing but fucking reality shows, you know what I'm saying? Like, and fill your brain with like a lot of the toxicity and chaos that goes on in them shits, by all means, as long as you don't bring that shit to me, I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like that's my mindset. That's how I see shit. So what do people really want most? I believe they want peace. And peace comes in many forms. You know, like having enough money to be like fuck off. Like having fuck you money. You know what I'm saying? Brings peace. But I mean, it's not about the money. It's about what the money enables you to do. Because obviously we all have to, well, you know, some of us have to work. I'm gonna say all, but some of us have to work for a living. You know what I'm saying? And like, in order to have the things that we actually want in this life to survive, it's about the money. And it's only getting worse. We're going to have to find new ways to have more avenues, multiple streams of income, so that we can have, this particular type of peace. Otherwise, we'll be working until the day we die. And like, in order to obtain that, there's some things you're going to have to do that you may not even want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like building a business, you know what I'm saying? Like learning how to save money, learning financial literacy. Like, I really do believe that people want peace the most, somehow, some way. Don't get me wrong, there's some people that are just genetically inclined to disrupt peace. But I do believe that, like me, as a man, I prefer, I want peace the most, you know what I mean? I want peace like nobody's business, man. I used to try to chase for love and all the wrong places, you know what I'm saying? Because I was conditioned to do so. So like for me, it's like creating my own peace, and anything after that, you're gonna have to complement that. Anything, if you try to disrupt my fucking peace, you will be removed instantly. It's not even a thought. It's not even a thought. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to go. I don't give a fuck what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, family, friends, all that shit. Like, you gotta protect your peace like nobody's business, yo, because that's where your mental health that's how you manage your mental health. All your power is within your mind. Don't try to control anything external. When you see the power that you have by just being within yourself, that's where the strength comes from. You know what I mean? Don't worry about what nobody else doing. Focus on you. You know what I'm saying? That's really it. Like, everybody got their own goals. You're not responsible for them. I'm not telling you not to engage with people or anything like that. I'm not saying I don't engage with people. What I'm saying is that I do not hold I don't hold my fate in other people's hands anymore. You know what I'm saying? I don't put my happiness in other people's hands. And it's like, I think some people really do that. They really believe like you're responsible for their happiness. You're responsible for them feeling good about themselves. No, fuck that. I don't think that's fair to do so for anybody. And I don't know. I ramble all fucking day about how I feel about this. But what I do want to say is that I believe that people want peace the most out of life. Should your woman's past matter to you? Yes. Yes. But let's be clear as to why. It's more a biological thing, than anything else. So we want to talk about the imprint, right? In a lot of cases, statistics have been shown on this. You can look this up. We're not talking a bunch of bullshit about this, but if a woman's imprint was like she was very promiscuous around like middle school and high school, like the divorce rate just goes, astronomically high. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just how your imprint is. And that's why it's important for us to protect our kids, our girls, you know what I'm saying, from having that, early on. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate, but I think, and I'm not just gonna put that on women too. I mean, obviously the focus of this question is about women, but even for young boys too. Like if a boy was exposed to sex at a very early age, you'd be hard pressed to try to, get them to be married for long. Like if you've been exposed to sex at an early age, it really does alter your mind as far as like how you see things. Very promiscuous at times, and as far as like learning how to like commit to one person, it comes with its challenges. More so than the individual who more than likely like waited, to have, to engage in sex at a later time. You know what I'm saying? But like if you were very promiscuous early on, it that becomes the norm. Most people go back to their imprint. Like everything that happens in childhood, we try to recreate as an adult. You know what I'm saying? So like if you were very promiscuous as a child, let's just say this woman goes off, right? And she starts off, like she's like, what, like, prime example, sex life, right? So in sex life, she was always fucking, right? Like before she met her husband, constantly fucking, wild nights, you know what I'm saying? It's just fucking today, fucking tomorrow, random ass partners, you know what I'm saying? Shit like that. But she felt like she wanted something different. And then she got with the good dude, the beta guy, the beta character, whatever his name is, you know what I'm saying? And it was fine for, she was stable, everything was stable. But that imprint, the imprint when she saw her man, you know what I'm saying, that she used to fuck with, have all the wild nights with, you know what I'm saying, it just eats at you. Now, it takes a lot of discipline. I'm not saying it's not possible, but if that's your imprint, you got a challenge coming. It's not impossible, but it's damn sure. You have a chance. There's a strong chance that it's gonna be some shit ones on. You know what I'm saying, when it comes to a woman's past, and therapy. Lord knows, therapy is. It's gonna take a lot of therapy, you know what I'm saying? Like in order to get out of that mind, because again, it's just about changing your mindset. But if in your mind, that, oh man, you see a hot dude or whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? And you used to pouncing, what's gonna stop Nala from pinning you again? You know what I'm saying? And again, like I said, the same can be said for men, but that's just one aspect of the question. Like, should a woman's past matter? And that aspect, yes, just the imprint. The imprint is very, very important as far as like for a young girl, because it's just, like I said, the biological thing of it all. You know what I mean? Like as far as later on in life, wanting to recreate childhood. And if that's what that's what of course, we outside looking in, and we don't know the ins and outs of like the real relationship. But let's just say, for face value, Will and Jada. Will, don't get me wrong, because Will's known for, well, I guess, I don't even know if that's really a good fucking example. But you know what? Fuck it, we're going here anyway. So Jada is, grew up in Baltimore. You know what I'm saying? Around a lot of street cats. You know what I'm saying? And she marries Will Smith. You know what I mean? And then look at, look how Will carries himself. Will put her on a pedestal. You know what I'm saying? He treated her like a celebrity. She treats him like a fucking fan. You know what I mean? It's that imprint, it's so funny. One of the other, like I said, another YouTube guy, Steffes Cole. Shout out to Steffes Cole, man. Like young cat, man. He's like 24, 25, but I got access to some knowledge in the manosphere that's really, really beneficial for a lot of young boys and even older men. You know what I'm saying? That could learn about masculinity and the manosphere and all the things that we tend to talk about, right? But he talks about how, and I think it was a meme too, where Jada's, Willow? Willow wrote a fucking letter to Tupac, you know what I'm saying? And, and she never met this dude. And then they had the joke that all of them cut their hair bald. And I mean, Jada's shit is a little bit different, but Willow and then Jaden cutting their hair bald and look like Tupac, you know what I'm saying? And then here's Will, who just always about his family. He's always been the family guy. Just not valued, you know what I'm saying? Because it's tainted. It's tainted by that imprint, you know what I'm saying? She's not able to value a guy like Will because she didn't really have that, you know what I'm saying? Growing up, that imprint is I believe the imprint is very important, you know what I'm saying? Like when it comes to women. I'm sure there's some connection with it when it comes to men too. But as for me as a heterosexual male, again, learning what I'm learning when it comes to with women and shit like that, that imprint is so very key, as far as how to, what's she come from? Now, you talking about your wild days in college and shit like that. We're talking about that childhood shit where you were doing shit that you had no business doing. Those of us that were, involved doing shit early on, 11 to 16 time frame, you know what I'm saying? Doing wild shit. That imprint, it had a tremendous amount of effect. It's almost like a form of trauma, I believe, for the shit that we were doing. We had no business doing that young. I mean, I don't even want to think, about my kid, my god kids, doing anything that fucking young. I hope they never do that. But, it's, but a woman's past, as far as longevity and trying to choose a mate, yeah, it does play a factor, especially the level of promiscuity that she would currently display. You know what I mean? You just have to be very mindful of it. You know what I'm saying? As far as is this a woman, the way she's carrying herself, is this a woman that's where you can build a family with? That's the question that one man has to ask himself. You know what I mean? Ain't no knock on what you're doing, but it's just about the goal. You know what I mean? Even for, I think we talked about in the previous episode, if you're looking for a guy to build a family with, truly, this is what you're doing, then why fuck with this guy? You know what I'm saying? That's clearly not where he is right now in his head. You know what I mean? And it's not personal. It's just different values at the time. It's not to say that he won't later on. It's not to say that she won't later on. But for right now, this is where you gotta see a person where they are. You know what I mean? The imprint, I believe, is very important. So the woman's past matter, and an aspect of like I say, anything after the imprint years. So like I say, anything that traumatic that happened between 11 and 16 sexually, I don't think so. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe that. I mean, as far as STDs and shit like that, now that aspect, yes, sure. Matters, but as far as in a relationship, and she's talking about her exes, ain't got shit to do with me. We right here, right now. She here for, what I'm saying? She was with me or whatever. But as for the imprint, and then of course the STD thing, I don't think that should be an issue. I like the fact that you were with people. If there's a song come up or whatever. I mean, we got a lot of songs that remind us of a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna not listen to it because you and Tyrone or some shit done that was y'all shit. If I Back That Ass Up by Juvenile, and you're like, oh shit, me and Tyrone used to dance to that shit at the dances, I'm still gonna listen to my fucking Juvenile. Fuck him, fuck both of y'all for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't got shit to do with me. Or any type of record, movie, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You know, I guess another aspect is like furniture. You're like, I think that's important. I think like removing furniture that you once had in a relationship with somebody, because it's a reminder. And if you keep thinking about it, it's going to be there. You know what I'm saying? Where awareness goes, energy flows. You know what I'm saying? So it's like learning to move on from said thing. And you know, like I think there's a lot of things that can be said about, you know, a person's past, a woman's past. You know what I'm saying? But as far as like you know, what a woman does before you, relationship wise, all that shit, like who she's been with, it's none of my business. You know what I'm saying? That aspect, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need to be worried about an ex-boyfriend. You know, her talking about an ex-boyfriend, he's gone. You know what I'm saying? Now, as far as if she's not over him, that eventually will show, and then I don't necessarily have to stay and move on. You know, that's simple. There's not much you can do. I mean, you know, a person's gonna do what they want to do. You know what I mean? And hypergamy is undefeated. It will ever be undefeated. You know what I'm saying? So it's important to understand female nature and how things work. And you got to be. Sometimes you're gonna have to take something to the chin. You know what I'm saying? And change your mind at a moment's notice on certain things. You might feel this way one minute, next you might feel that way, and you got to be able to deal with that. And that's why you stay focused on your purpose as a man. You know what I'm saying? And you make sure that whatever woman that you choose, she complements your life. She doesn't complicate your life. And I mean, like I said, those are the principles that I stand by. And it's just that imprint. Like I said, the imprint, the whole aspect of STDs and things of that nature. But as far as like the boyfriend she's had before, I mean, he's gone. You know what I mean? I guess every situation varies with that. You know, they very well could have been like a breakup thing. He broke up with her, she still misses him. But I mean, as long as you're working on being your best self, she's going to want to be with you. That's why it's important to, like, your best ROI is to work on yourself. And you let the chips fall where they may. You know what I'm saying? May the best man win, pretty much.